I first met Dadi in 1977. She visited Australia, and I had the great fortune to go to the airport to greet her. I was very surprised that there were so few of us for such a great personality. But when she came out, I'm not a person normally to have visions, but when she came out, I only saw light, just light. And we embraced, and it was just a feeling of coming home, of belonging, of such sweet love, and for someone that I hadn't met. That evening we had a program at a 5-star hotel, and Dadi had brought a small keychain for everyone, and she gave everyone a keychain, but there was just one short, and the hotel staff that we wanted to give it to was reluctant to take mine. But Dadi just slapped me on the shoulder, and she said, "She's my sister. It's okay." And it was just like a whole barrier being broken down as Dadi had that familiarity and closeness with me. In fact, that was one of her great specialities, that she really had this sense of equanimity. Later on that year, I visited the headquarters in Mount Abu, and we were walking. She was taking us on a walk to the museum in Mount Abu, and Dadi walked up to me from behind and asked me, "How do you think we can best serve the people in Australia?" And I was so surprised. I was just 22 years old. I'd hardly been studying with the Brahma Kumaris for more than a year, and she just had this humility that was very softening. So she treated everyone equally, even when we had a brother in Hong Kong who had AIDS at the time when we didn't know anything about AIDS. She knew that he had AIDS, and she just took him in her hands and shook his hand and really gave him such a feeling of safety, was what he said. The other speciality of Dadi is that she is very spontaneous. And I don't think we can afford to be spontaneous like that, because we're often needing to check our thoughts, our words, our actions. But Dadi was completely the same inside out. And so she didn't have any filter on what she said or what she did. And it was just a pure fun and joy to experience that spontaneity. She was also very open. Her door was never locked, and we could go in any time. And in fact, a group of maybe 10 or even more used to go into her room in the mornings while she was dressing. And it was a very intimate time with Dadi. She used every minute, didn't need privacy, didn't need time on her own, because she never seemed to get tired. She really felt herself to be an instrument, and that kept her tireless. The other thing was I took a very big businessman, Chinese man from Hong Kong, to Mount Abu. And he was taking notes, and I thought he was taking notes of Dadi's class. But in the end, I came to know that he was actually noting how Dadi managed the whole organization. And he was particularly noting how she appreciated everyone. At every meeting she had, she would acknowledge whoever had been working behind the scenes in particular. She's missed greatly by everyone. And when I visited the headquarters, in fact, I lived in India, so I spent time at the headquarters. And the people responsible for different departments there shared that whenever they asked Dadi for help, she would ask them to note it down in a special notebook, so that if this situation arose again, they would be able to look back at what had already happened previously. So she was a really great manager. None of these great souls can be replaced, and she is absolutely irreplaceable. We miss her very much. Om Shanti.